Hello, good evening to you all. World Understanding and Peace Day takes place on February 23rd every year as a part of the World Understanding Month celebrations. This day is actually a commemoration of the first meeting of Rotary. As an international organization, Rotary is dedicated to humanitarian service as well as peace and goodwill throughout the world. Today, we all gathered here to celebrate World Understanding and Peace Day by all the Rotary clubs in Zone 4 of Rotary District 3182 in association with the Office of International Affairs and Collaborations, MAHE. Now we request the Assistant Governor of Zone 4, Rotarian Ramchandra Upadhyaya, and Zonal Trainer, Rotarian Dr. K. Suresh Kanai, to escort the dignitaries onto the dais. District Governor, Rotarian Dr. Jayagori Hadigal, the Chief Guest, Professor Dr. N. Sharma, Pro Vice Chancellor, Strategy and Planning, MAHE, and Dr. Karunakar Kotegar, Director, International Affairs and Collaborations, MAHE, over to the dais. Also, we are inviting all the Zone Lieutenants of Zone 4, Rotarian Balakrishna Kumar, Rotarian Dayanand Naik, Rotarian Nitashri Upadhyaya, and Rotarian Rajesh P. Palak onto the dais, and we request all the club presidents or the representatives of their club to please come out to the dais in order to receive today's dignitaries on the dais. Rotarian Prabhakar Shetty, President R.C. Aisiri Parkala, Rotarian Jagannath Kote, President R.C. Katpadi, Rotarian Renu Jairam, President R.C. Manipal, Rotarian Sabita Bhatt, President R.C. Manipal Hills, Rotarian Nityanand Naik, President RC Manipal Town, Rotarian Ravindra Acharya, Secretary RC Parkala, Rotarian Nalini Shetty, President RC Perudur, and Rotarian K. Sitaram Tantri, Vice President RC Udupi, and Rotarian Prasad Shetty, President RC Udyavara. To begin the program, we request the club sergeants at arms or the representatives of their club to call their respective club presidents. Please hurry up. All the sergeant at arms of the Rotary clubs or the representatives of the club to please call the presidents. Or they can call themselves also. Through prayer, we borrow peace and love at the very beginning of any celebration. Here we have Rotarian Guru Prasad Kamath and Rotarian Geeta Shri Upadhyaya from Rotary Club of Aisiri Barkala for the prayer.
रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरो नाम सबको सन्मति दे भगवान ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरो नाम सबको सन्मति दे भगवान रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम.
Thank you, Rotarian Guru Prasad and Rotarian Geeta Shri for the invocation. Now, our zonal leader and Assistant Governor Rotarian Ramchandra Upadhyaya, who initiated the thought of celebrating this day in such a special way, will be welcoming all the distinguished guests and the invitees on behalf of the host.
Respected District Governor, Rotarian Dr. Jai Gauri, Honorable guest, Professor Dr. N. Sharma, Rotarian, all the Rotarians, guest of the day, and the whole theme was formulated by none other than Dr. Karnakar Kotekar. All the Rotary dignitaries on the dais, Rotary presidents of the Zone 4, Rotary, my Rotary friends, international faculties, and all the guests from various countries. Today, we are celebrating the Rotary birthday as World Peace and Understanding Day, which concentrates on issues that have universal value, which includes literacy, education, economic and cultural balance, community development, eradication of poverty, sanitation, encouragement of the development, prevention of diseases, assurance of equality, maternal child health, conflict prevention, peace, etc. Saving humanity has become the main motive for mutual growth and development. The day is celebration by and for mankind and to turn ourselves a better human beings by spreading colors in the society. World Peace and Understanding Day 2023 are celebrated to establish peace through the world divide of violence or atrocities. Establishing peace and understanding is the collective effort of human beings. When the world is facing wars, The resultant byproduct is alienation and fragmentation. When human beings are devoid of understanding, mutiny, wars, and conflicts may happen. In our Zone 4, every year we are celebrating World Peace and Understanding Day in a more significant manner. This year, we are joining with international fame University Mahe, and we thought of doing it in a different way. When we thought of doing it in this manner, we just approached the Director, International Affairs, Dr. Karunakar Kotekar. It is really, we are lucky that Karunakar Kotekar has taken much interest in organizing and making this a different and a purposeful one. Karunakar Kotekar we are lucky that he has agreed, but only agreed, he actually formulated the whole thing. That's how it is happening today, and I am really happy that along with the Rotarians, most of the international students are here. We have a district governor, major donor, Lieutenant Dr. Jayagori, who is a motivational leader, and in spite of her weaknesses, she is here to motivate us. So I welcome on behalf of all the Rotarians here to this August learning. We have our Pro-Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. N.M. Sharma, an intellectual par excellence, who is with us to motivate us. We are welcome you, sir. Yes, the man behind this wonderful program, Dr. Karunakar Kotekar, sir, Director International Collaborations, Mahe, who collectively taken up this program to make it a grand success. We heartily welcome you, sir. We have officials from Mahe, international faculties and students, and also the campus ambassadors, with whose efforts this much number of students participated. We welcome you all. We have donor lieutenants, Lieutenant Balakrishna Kumar, Lieutenant Dayanand Naik, Lieutenant Geeta Shirupadhyay, Lieutenant Rajeshri Palan, with the presidents of 10 clubs. Lieutenant Nalin Shetty from Perdur, Lieutenant Prabhakar Shetty, Aishwari Parkala, Lieutenant Nityan Naik from Manipal Town, Lieutenant Nenu Jairam from Manipal Club, Lieutenant Savita Dibat from Manipal Hills, Lieutenant Jagannath Kote from Katapadi, and from Udupi Club, Lieutenant Sitaram Tantri, and from Pakkal Club, Lieutenant Ravindra Achar. We welcome you all. We have various dignitaries here. I welcome each one of you and all the Rotarians, all the international students, and we will have a wonderful evening and wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. A very warm welcome to you too. Now we request all the club presidents or the representatives to honor the dignitaries on the dais with a rose as a token of our love and respect. And also I request Zonal Secretary Rotarian Janardhan Bhatt to honor the club presidents with a rose. Peace and conflict prevention is one of the 7 areas of focus of Rotary International. As a part of its commitment to peace, Rotary International has set up Rotary Centers for International Studies in Peace and Conflict Resolution in many universities around the world. Rotary Fellowships offer grants to study at these centers as well. So far, more than 1,500 persons are trained in these centers, and those peace ambassadors have been serving in more than 115 countries towards this noble cause. With all such useful information about the celebration of World Understanding and Peace Day, our zonal trainer and immediate past Assistant Governor, Rotarian Dr. K. Sureshan, will enlighten us with his opening remarks.
Respected Governor, our beloved Governor, Dr. J. Gauri, the chief guests from the dignitaries from Mahi, Dr. N. Sharma, Pro Vice Chancellor, and Dr. Karunakar Kotigar, International Affairs Director, and all the presidents, secretaries, our zonal lieutenants, and all the dignitaries and all the students who are specially invited for this particular program, and all the guests who are here. Today is a celebration. As all of you know, that we are celebrating the 118th birthday of Rotary. So we are all excited on this day, and this is our normal, because I'm going to tell a little bit for the sake of non-Rotarians and for the international students, because every year we celebrate this particular day in a special way. But this time I should appreciate our Assistant Governor and our Governor with the idea of celebrating this in collaboration with the Mahi. And I really truly thank Dr. Karunakar Kotikar for his wholehearted support, involving more than 50 to 60 international students for this wonderful event. And we have few faculties also who are going to be the part of this particular program. As all know, usually people will ask why Peace and World Understanding Day is called for the birthday of Rotary. Now, of course, this is a wonderful question. So, coming to that point, Rotary was started in 1905 with the whole idea of the friendship and fellowship by our great Paul Harris with the three of his friends. But today, we are 118-year-old, more than 36,000 clubs with 1.2 million members into that. Rotary always thought, Paul Harris said one place, he told, pathway to the war is a highway, it's a smooth one. But pathway to the peace is rugged. It is a difficult one. But we want to achieve peace. We want to achieve the peace in the world, not the war. So Rotary concept is totally different. Rotary wanted to give education because we want to eliminate the illiteracy. So second one is that we want to give water, sanitation and hygiene for which normal conflicts occur. So once you solve that, we are going to achieve peace. The third thing is that we want to achieve the literacy and the housing, the most important thing, which we support. And all these things are our weapons, Rotary's weapons. And with this, we are going to achieve peace in the world. That's why this day is celebrated as World Understanding Day. The best part of the things will be given by our faculties and our governor about the Rotary, how it is involved, and about the Peace Center, which already mentioned, but the details will be discussed in the next few minutes. Before that, we are going to have Madam is going to inspire all of us, and then we have two faculties who are going to talk about peace and understanding. Then we have a wonderful panel discussion, which we are all waiting for, involving few of the international faculty, and we will be going to have a wonderful discussion about the peace and understanding subject. But just to know, the theme of the day is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Wonderful theme our director Karunakar Shetty has selected. Thank you, sir, for a wonderful theme. And then, as I told you, we have more than 50 international students here. And this is the first time we are getting a collaboration with the internal students. So we are really proud. So they are going to perform for us, and then of course our Rotarians, we are going to perform few cultural events, along with the last one is a fashion show. So it is more exciting, and all of you are coming with the colorful dress. You are making the environment very, very wonderful. So all of you wait and enjoy the evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the valuable inputs and about the world peace and conflict prevention. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe and we want to be the part of the change that encourages peace and understanding around the world. Now we request our beloved District Governor, Major Donor Rotarian Dr. Jayagori Madam to inaugurate this special event by lighting up the divine light. And all the dignitaries are requested to please join. Thank you, madam, for your. Let us hope that brightness of the light overcomes the darkness of divisions, injustice, and aggression in the society and leads to grow and live in harmony. Over to DG ma'am, Rotarian Dr. Jayagori madam, for the inaugural address.
A very good evening to all of you. I am Dr. Gauri, District Governor for the RI District 3182. I don't think many of you even know what RI District means. How many of you know about Rotary? Can you raise your hands? The audience, how many of you have never heard about Rotary? Can you raise your hands? You heard about Rotary? Well, that's nice to know. Well, it all started on a very cold winter day in 1905 when Paul Harris, along with three other friends, as Dr. Suresh and I just mentioned, they all gathered in a small little room in Chicago and thought they were bored. So they said, why don't we start something and then we meet by rotation, let us meet in each one's house or somewhere every week, and let us start an organization. And that's how Rotary was born on 1905 on February 23rd. And today is the birthday of Rotary. Paul Harris was a very special person. The more and more I have learned about Rotary and I have read about Paul Harris, I've really come to admire him. When he got bored, and then he started an organization. When we all get bored, we don't really start something new and start something that is very, very active and that can really be productive. We start something and we involve ourselves in something very exciting, which excites us. But here he started something which excites everybody else. And that's how Rotary was born. So Rotary was born out of boredom. Okay. when Rotary, the nice thing about Rotary, I was very proud to read about was, Rotary was interested more in peace rather than war. Paul Harris said a very good line. Suresh has already mentioned it to you, but it's a really beautiful quotation. He said, the highway to war is very, very paved. It's a paved way. I mean, each country going to war with each other, they all know what to do. Oh, Pakistan and India are going to go to war. China and India are going to go to war. They all know exactly what they have to do and how they have to prepare for war. But how to prepare for peace, that is a wilderness. We don't really know how to prepare for peace. And that's what Paul Harris said. We should know how to prepare for peace. And so I was very impressed with the way Suresh said that when we solve all the focus areas of Rotary, like sanitation, like maternal and child health and other things, then peace will automatically evolve. And when we solve all these things all over the world, not only in our country, but all over the world. And how do we do it? By Rotary grants and Rotary projects. And how does that happen? That happens through the Rotary Foundation. And how does Rotary Foundation get the money to do all those things? It is through the money that we give. So finally I come back to TRF. Only through TRF will Rotary function and Rotary do projects. So we have to give for the Rotary Foundation. So that is my another remark which I am reminding you of before my year ends. Give for TRF if you have not given it already. Okay. Right. And when Rotary... Sorry. Yeah. You all know that the World War II ended in 1945. But in 1949, 50 Rotarians went to the United Nations and they started the Charter of the United Nations. 49 Rotarians were involved in creating the Charter of the United Nations. And they said we should have peace and not war. And that is something to be very, very proud of. Aren't we proud to be Rotarians? I mean, we're thinking of peace rather than war. And if all Rotarians, 1.2 million Rotarians, think of peace rather than war, I think there will be peace in the world. Isn't it true? Yes. Another thing is, when they thought that peace is definitely more important than war, then they decided to start centers all over the world which will teach people how to maintain peace and how to develop peace. And these are called the peace centers of Rotary. And there are 8 peace centers all over the world. And it was started in UK, in United States, California, in Thailand, in Japan, and in Australia. So, and also in Uganda. Starting a peace center is not an easy process. It requires $15.5 million. So it is something that requires somebody to be very, very generous. So when I became the governor, I wanted to start a peace center here in Manipal. And then they told me, I didn't know what it meant. And then they told me, do you have that much money? I said, no, so I certainly don't have $15.5 million. And I don't know anybody in India who will give me that kind of money. So that idea went off. My ideas are always like that, so idiotic. But I really appreciate the fact that so many peace centers have been started all over the world. Now they're planning to start one in Dubai. And Walter Foundation is willing to give $15.5 million. And then they're going to start something, a peace center in Dubai. That is going to be the latest peace center that is going to be added. These peace centers, 10 people are chosen to be scholars of these, do a fellowship in these peace centers. So their education, their travel, their stay, accommodation, everything is paid for by Rotary. So far, as Hemant mentioned, 1,500 students have been selected to do the course, and they are present all over the world. And they go to places where there is war and where there is conflict, and they try to solve the problem. So, not only are we involved in projects which create a better environment in the world, we also try to solve war and conflicts. So that's why today the birthday of Rotary is called Peace and Understanding. Peace and conflict resolution is one of the great focuses of Rotary. As mentioned earlier, it's a great occasion today that we have being involved with Mahe and the faculty of, I don't know their topics, they're all really above my head. So it goes about all on humanities and different things like that, which I don't quite understand. But I'm glad that I'm part of this evening and that we are all part of this lovely evening. I'm glad to see the people come from different countries to be part here. It's nice that we are all able to gather together and discuss these things. And hopefully, one of us, the other day I was talking to Gulam Bahanwati, who was supposed to come for our conference, but last minute, due to ill health, he is not coming. And he was saying, why are there not any applications to do fellowship in peace centers from India? We have got almost 1.2 billion people and not one has applied for a peace scholarship. Don't we think that we need peace? And that's when it dawned on me that why is it that we don't think our youth that they should involve in peace rather than war? We are so interested in talking about war and how different countries are fighting with each other. But we never talk about how to stop that fighting and create peace. So that's something we all need to work upon and try to apply for. I wish in the coming years, more and more Indians and the youth of India will get involved in these peace centers and do these programs. Because once they learn the value of peace, then peace will start coming to because there is conflict in every country, in India or we cannot say there is no conflict in India. There is definitely conflict, not in a very major way, thankfully, but in small ways. It may be religious, it may be otherwise, but there definitely is conflict. And if we can try to solve the conflict through Rotary, that itself is a great step for Rotary. So, I forgot to recognize the great dignitaries who are on the dais. N.N. Sharma, who has been in Manipal only for 10 days now. So I welcome you, sir, to Manipal. Yes, he was in Jaipur and it's a big change from Jaipur coming to Manipal, isn't it, sir? Jaipur is beautiful, but Manipal is better, isn't it? Yeah. I also welcome Karnakar Kotega, sir. I've met you many times before, and it has always been a pleasure every time. Thank you very much. And yes, and I can see why it has been so detailed and thought of so very well. Thank you very much, sir, for involving with us. Of course, we have our Assistant Governor, Ramchandra Upadhyay, who always knows how to catch the right people. Thank you, Upadhyay, for getting together such an occasion. and also thank the panelists for coming together. I'm going to stay back and listen to the panel discussion. I'm sure it will be wonderful. So all of you, please don't go away now once I finish my talk, and stay back and listen to the panel discussion. Yeah. Look how cute he is, holding on to that thing, holding on to that invitation for me. Thank you, sir. Once again, I welcome you all for this day of February 20th, the World Understanding and Peace and Conflict Resolution. It has been a great evening, and we have got lovely people along with all of us. So I thank you all on behalf of Rotary for being with us today. I thank all the presidents of Zone 4 for coming together here today. I hope you all do the same and come for the conference. I do not want to find any empty seats of presidents on the conference, because you will all be on stage there also, and I do not want to have empty seats. All my Rotarians here, I hope you have registered for the conference. I cannot end my talk without saying that. So please register for the conference and be there. I want to see you all and say hello to all of you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam, for your wonderful message on this occasion. As you rightly said, Rotary's World Understanding and Peace Day is a great opportunity to explore how we can all contribute to the peace around the world. Now we request today's chief guest, Professor Dr. N.N. Sharma, Pro Vice Chancellor Mahe, to address this august gathering.
Good evening. Very good evening. Madam Dr. Jai Gauri, Governor the Zone, all Rotarians, my dear colleague Dr. Karnakar, all the participants, dear students, it's such a privilege to be here among you on this occasion. Thank you very much. On this day, first of all, my heartfelt greetings, wishes, and congratulations to all of you on this establishment day. Can we give a big round of applause for this gathering, for this evening, for this day? And the theme has been very wisely chosen. I have very few words, but one or two things I will just suddenly share with you. As Madam said that, rightly said, I informed her, Madam, this is my 10th day, maybe 14th day. And I got settled on the 4th day itself. People are still asking, have you settled, have you settled? I said, okay, me and my wife are here, you can actually check that. We got settled on 4th day, and that is what is called as understanding and assimilation. That is the day we are celebrating. People understood we are coming from far away, 1,500 kilometers away. And understanding, and you say the Kutumbakam is what happened with us. So everyone was letting us feel homely here. Thank you very much. Madam, this place is much better than Jaipur. Thank you very much. And I am sure that we will enjoy our journey for next few years till we are here. And we don't know. Later on, who knows that? We'll become a Manipalian again. So, I have been a beneficiary of Rotary. In Jaipur, indirectly, I have been a beneficiary. So, most of you must have heard about the Jaipur food. Jaipur food is a very well known among the fraternity. Outside, abroad also, this is the one thing which we have sold as a name to the foreign countries also. And when I went to Jaipur, I was actually teaching for 20 years robotics at one place, which is another institute of eminence, BITS Pilani. So there is an organization called Bhagwan Mahavir Viklang Sahayata Samiti. So their head actually asked me if you can make a Jaipur hand. See, Jaipur foot have very less functionalities. It only supports. Hand has so many functionalities. The Rotarians helped to develop that hand. 25 hands the Rotarians financed. I really thank them from my heart. Thank you very much. It would not. And see, the beneficiaries were they only asked me to do the frugal engineering because our community in India cannot afford a hand which is actually outsourced, brought from outside, which is worth 1 lakh rupees one hand. A pair costs 2 lakh of rupees, high end. So we developed that, and that already Rotarians helped me developing that hand in 35,000 rupees, and they also purchased 25 hands. I am really, again, thank you, all of you, who in one or the other sense is helping this society. Thank you very much. The Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or the understanding of peace, I mean, have been all a part of it. To my fellow friends who are from international, we actually do a japa. Japa, you know that, jap. I don't know how many of you know that japa. So there is a ajapa japa, most of you might be knowing. Soham. How many of you know of Soham? So this is the one. Soham means I am he, she, that. It is the oneness. And we have been practicing it for centuries and centuries, and I am sure that I am just a part of this culture, proud of this culture, which works on the universalization. Soham means if you inhale, it will sound, and when you close your ears and on the eyes if you do, and then hear your breath, inhalation will give you a sound like so, and when you take it out, it is hum. So hum, you are not doing the japa, it is already being done by your body, soham. Meaning of such beautiful thing is what matches Karnaka sir with your theme, Vasudev. I am he, she, that. This is the oneness. I belong to you, you belong to me. And those who, वो मेरी तरह जो some Hindi है, उल्टा गिनती जो करते हैं ना, if you do it soham to ulta, reverse, it is hamsa. Hamsa means I am the swan. So if you can't do soham, you do hamsa, because I am the swan. Everyone is the swan here. I wish you all the best for the evening, and take this from me that we all belong to the same culture. We are all one family, and we must help each other. We must do the peaceful journey and enjoy the journey. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with your great thoughts and motivating us to involve ourselves towards peace-building work. Now we request another chief guest of the day who has supported and encouraged Rotary team to organize these beautiful events in such a great way in association of his Office of International Affairs and Collaborations, Dr. Karunakar Kotega, to share his thoughts on this occasion.
ನೆರೆದಿರುವಂತ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಇಷ್ಟರವರೆಗೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ನೆರೆದಿರುವಂತ ಈ ಸುಸಂಜೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ತಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ರೋಟರಿ ಮತ್ತು ಮಾಹೆಯ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಗುಡ್ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಈಚ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಒನ್ ಹಿಯರ್, Rotarians and Mahe faculty and Mahe fraternity, Mahe students and my international colleagues from different universities who are going to partake in the panel discussion with a beautiful topic what we have defined as Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, world is one family. In India, because whenever we travel abroad, the first traveling was very proud, and I felt that I am flying first time international flight. But over a period, I understood India is a beautiful country, and if you know to travel from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, you need not travel any other country because you have everything sampled in one or the other way which is available in the country. And the basic idea is, food, language and culture. And whenever you travel from one country to other country, what is the major difference? Wherever you go, either language is different, or culture is different, or food is different. Rest all is same. We are all people staying in different geographical locations in the world. And whenever we talk about world peace, we have to go back to World War I and II. World War II, after that, Europe declared that there is no more war and we want only peace. And there are several initiatives taken by different people so that help people to move across the border. Once they go across the border, they will only ask for peace. But as an Indians, when we move from one place to other place, one district to other district, one state to other state, you will have different people. You will have different culture. You will have different food. And wherever you are traveling, it's different. So in general, Indians are more adaptable. I am telling you after traveling 30 countries and after living abroad. But having said that, is it enough? Because we are seeing the Ukraine and Russia war, and it's 1 year over. People felt that within 3 days war will be over. No, but the repercussion of that is on the whole world. Mahi believes that every student of Mahi should travel abroad, go abroad for one or the other reason, at least for minimum 1 month. Because whenever Indian students are traveling abroad, he is a changed individual when he is back. And when an individual changes, the peace will prevail. The whole idea of celebrating this wonderful day is to help our young generation to cross the border, understand the different culture, language and food, and appreciate and embrace everything. And that is what is the goal of Mahi and international affairs and collaboration is facilitating all these things. Wherever we have option, we want to collaborate and we want to talk about this. So today, for the panel discussion, I have my wonderful colleagues here, and you may be surprised, it's a good mix. We have a Japanese colleague, we have a colleague from UK, and we have a colleague from France, and we have a colleague from Canada, and an Indian moderator, So this is a beautiful theme, and we have discussed with one another, and I told them, you know the questions, but don't discuss the answers. Because the answer has to come out from them naturally on the stage. I'm sure you are going to enjoy that. After that, we have a cultural program from Rotarians as well as international students. A wonderful day ahead. Please sit, relax, enjoy. Thank you very much for giving the opportunity to collaborate Mahi with Rotary. I'm sure this will continue for years and we are with you, the whole Rotary team. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful thoughts and encouraging words. Now I request Rotarian Vittal Das Bhatt, immediate past president of Rotary Club of Manipal Hills, to come out to the dais and receive Paul Harris Fellow certificate and pin from our beloved district governor, ma'am, Rotarian Dr. Jay Gauri, for his contribution towards the Rotary Foundation during the year 2021-22. Here is a small announcement. Someone wants to remove his car kept in front of KA20 MD 3963 Medicare. Modicare. It's coming as a Medicare. KA20 MD 3963. Please note. Thank you. Now I request Assistant Governor Rotarian Ramchandra Upadhyay to hand over the mementos to the dignitaries on the dais, District Governor Rotarian Dr. Jay Gauri ma'am, the Chief Guest Professor Dr. N.N. Sharma and Dr. Karunakar Kotekar as a token of our gratitude. Also, I request him to hand over the memento to to the zonal trainer, Rotarian Dr. K. Suresh Shanai, and all the 4 zonal lieutenants on the dais. I request the Zonal Secretary Rotarian Janardhan Bhatt to propose vote of thanks.
Dignitaries on the dais, of the dais, invited guests, and all my Rotarians, a very good evening. First of all, I take this opportunity to submit my heartfelt gratitude to our beloved District Governor, Rotarian Dr. Gauri, for her love and affection towards us. In spite of challenges, she is with us today and inaugurated this event. On behalf of Rotary, I have pleasure in expressing my heartfelt gratitude to Chief Guest of today's event, Professor N. Sharma. Thank you, sir, for your time and effort in attending this event. My very special thanks goes to our newly found friend of Rotary and architect of today's event, Dr. Karunakar Kotekar. He is one conceptualized this new way of celebrating World Understanding Day. Sir, thank you very much and looking forward to continue our association with you. Thank you, sir. I also thank our man in action, Assistant Governor Rotarian Ramachandra Upadhyaya, who is instrumental in organizing this event. I extend my warm full gratitude to our zonal trainer, Dr. Suresh Shanai, for his guidance and active participation. My heartfelt gratitude goes to our zonal lieutenants for their support. Rotarian Dayanand Nayak, Rotarian Balakrishna Kumar, Rotarian Geeta Sri Upadhyaya, and Rotarian Rajesh Palan. I also extend my heartfelt gratitude to our one and only Rotarian Jai Vittal sir. He is the bridge between Rotary and Manipal. He has supported us in multiple ways. Thank you, sir. My heartfelt all the clubs in our zone overwhelmingly supported our effort. Dear Presidents, I thank each one of you. Thank you very much. I take this opportunity to submit my heartfelt gratitude to the authorities of Mahe, all the staff of Office of International Affairs of Mahe, and all the concerned people from Mahe. Thank you one and all. I thank Dr. Praveen Shetty, who is going to be the moderator for upcoming panel discussion. Thank you, sir, for your time and effort. I also thank all the panelists for their active participation. You will be thanked individually soon after the panel discussion. I propose my unlimited gratitude to campus ambassadors of Mahe, Miss Kushi and team, who are the student coordinator of this event, for their overwhelming effort and support. I have immense pleasure in expressing my deep-hearted gratitude to the cultural team of Mahe and all the students of Mahe, both international and national, for their efforts in making this event successful. Similarly, I express my heartfelt gratitude to my friend in Rotary and MC, Mr. Hemant Khan, Rotarian Hemant Khan, for colorfully anchoring this event. Last but not least, one big thank you to all the cultural participants and all my friends in Rotary for their priceless support and active participation. Once again, thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Rotarian Janardhan Bhatt, for proposing vote of thanks. Now we request the club sergeants at arms or the representatives to uncall their respective club presidents, and we are adjourning this inaugural program for the next important session of the day, panel discussion on the topic "Word is One Family, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam," and requesting the dignitaries on the dais to please occupy the designated seats in front of the stage, and also requesting Rotarian Renu Jairam to please continue with the next proceedings.
I recognize the very precious presence of Mrs. N.N. Sharma and Mr. M. and Dr. Agarwal and Mrs. Agarwal. I recognize your delicious presence. I also recognize the presence of Dr. Girija. She is the co-chair of district conference.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I'm sure you all must be enjoying this evening, inspiring words from all the dignitaries, leaders, and also now moving on to the panel discussion on World is One Family, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. I now request our Assistant Governor, Rotarian Ramchandra Upadhyaya sir, to kindly escort panelists and the moderator, Rotarian Praveen Shetty, to the dais, please. Rotarian Dr. Praveen Shetty, yes, the moderator for today. And the panelists, Professor Dr. Kazu Yuki from Japan, Mrs. Yama Elizabeth from UK, Mr. Carl Stephen from Canada, and Mr. Vincent from France. Welcome you all to the dais. Thank you, Amma, for being so understanding and ensuring your children are here. Yeah, that's okay. That was very nice of you being so understanding. Thank you very much. I quickly move on to the introduction of our moderator, Dr. Praveen Shetty. Dr. Praveen Shetty, many of you may not be aware, he has been a past Rotarian, in fact. He has been the past secretary of our club, and we always look forward to him joining us soon as well. A very happy, cheerful, ever helpful bachelor for us is Dr. Praveen Shetty. I always tell still Rotarian Praveen Shetty. That's why you have it. He is an assistant professor in the Department of Humanities and Management at MIT Mahe. His PhD is in the field of international communications. He is also the coordinator for Center for Intercultural Studies, which is working on a project Discerning India, Living Cultures of Tudu Nadu, that aims to capture the intersections of cultures and living ways in a unique way. And we were all delighted to hear him in one of the Rotary meetings on this very particular topic. His area of expertise, his area of interest and research is also in the field of intercultural communication and multiculturalism. That's in very, very brief. Dr. Praveen Shetty, the moderator for this evening, over to you to introduce. I request Rotarian AG Ramchandra Upadhyaya sir to present the rose. Dr. Praveen Shetty, and to all the panelists, Professor Dr. Kazu, Ms. Emma, Mr. Karl, and Mr. Vincent. Over to Praveen, Dr. Praveen Shetty.
Thank you, Rotarian Renu ma'am, for those kind words. Without much ado, we would start straight away with the panel discussion. As mentioned by the Rotarians and the distinguished guests earlier, World Understanding Day the world is one family, the motto with which this theme is designed. Let me introduce the diversity of the panel first. So we have diversity in terms of geographic and diversity in terms of domain as well. Dr. Emma Varghese, she is a literature person, a senior fellow at Manipal Center for Humanities. Her research focuses on post-millennial literary and visual expressions of Indianness. And she brings a wealth of knowledge from the world of literature, and she is from United Kingdom. I'm making these specific comments because just to have an idea of the diversity what we have. And next to Dr. Emma Varghese, we have Mr. Vincent Murray. Vincent is a teacher of French language and course coordinator of Alliance Française Bangalore Manipal chapter. He's French and he has been working in Manipal for almost a year now. He graduated in art history and worked 12 years in politics as parliamentary assistant at the French Senate. And post that work, he decided to switch to academics. So he changed his career and he got a degree in teaching in French, and here he is with us, a language teacher and a literature person. And on my left, we have, thank you. We have a philosopher, Dr. Carl Stephen Baudelaire, an assistant professor at the Department of Philosophy, Mahe. Born in Montreal, Carl is what he likes to call a French Canadian, a Quebec. However, his studies have turned him into a globetrotter. He has obtained his PhD in Indian philosophies from Ludwig Maximilian University, Munich, Germany. And prior to that, he has completed his MA in Sciences and Religions in Quebec City and MA in Sanskrit Studies at Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. So, the philosopher on the other side, and next to the philosopher, welcome. Next to the philosopher, we have a cosmologist, a professor in natural science, Dr. Furuji Kazuki, a Japanese. He currently works in Center for Natural Sciences, Mahe, as an associate professor. His research area is cosmology. Before joining Mahe, he had research experience in France, Canada, India, Taiwan, and he has grown up mostly in Japan and has been here with his family, with us for several years in Manipal. So welcome. So with this brief introduction, let's start. So as I told in the beginning, they bring a wealth of knowledge from their domain, the world to which they belong to, and also from the world where they come from. This panel discussion probably will have 3 rounds depending on the time. We will take half an hour from now. So 8 we will be winding up this session. So I would start with Dr. Emma Varghese. Dr. Emma, the question is,
Just a second, Dr. Pravin. I request all of you to keep your phones on silent mode and also listen to the panel discussion carefully. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Emma. Yeah, Dr. Emma, we were speaking about multiple worlds and world as one family. So my question is, what is the idea of the world in your world? Okay.
Thank you for the invitation to be part of this panel. I think the idea of world is complex because we can think of our own worlds in which we exist every day. And of course that can shift with location, it can shift with language, culture. In fact, all of us sitting here today will move through several worlds within 1 hour. The way that we speak with one another, we change, we shift. And so I think on a very public and lay level, we are all involved in what is known in the humanities as worlding. right? We do shift through our different worlds, and I guess it's the insight that we may bring in understanding that. First of all, in acknowledging that that's what we are, that we are multifaceted in many ways. That world is not just one thing, it's not just the globe, it's not just the earth to which we could argue we all belong, but rather that we inhabit these different worlds as we even move through our own days. And that can be even done in one very small geographic location, right? So you don't need to be getting on an aeroplane and moving halfway around the world in order to be shifting through worlds. And I think once we come to acknowledge this and think about this in terms of what insights that may bring, I think even though that is on a very small kind of micro level, I think it can feed into our bigger ideas of what it means to exist and live in and move around in a larger sense of the world as a globe, the world as a shared space, the world as transnational, the world as the earth and all that live and exist on it. So these are my first thoughts between, this very small world or small worlds that we inhabit daily and that we shift through, into the larger kind of sense of the earth and the world that we belong to in that larger sense. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. So, I would ask the neighbor, metaphorically as well as literally, France and England, as you know, share the boundaries as well. So, your view.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm very honored to be part of the panel. So thank you for having us over here. So yes, I'm French. I come from Paris, and so my idea of the world. So when I was younger, I thought that my world was the world. So basically, for me, the definition of the world was the limits of the geographic world that I know. So for me, the world was Paris. Okay, but deep down, I knew I wanted to explore the world. Other parts of the world, but for me, visiting another country was going to another world. So I used to think that there was a multitude of worlds until I realized that there is only one world, but you just see this only world in different ways according to the culture you come from. So I've been living in different countries. I've been living in the US, in Egypt, and now I've been here in India for a little bit less than 1 year. So I feel that I see this unique world now in India through my French glasses. When I say glasses, it's my culture. So I see my world here in India through my French culture. But the thing is now when I go back to France, I see my world in France through my Indian glasses. So to be more concrete, so there is one world, but I see it in different angles. For example, to be more concrete, so at the very beginning when I arrived in India, I didn't know this notion of family very well in India because the notion of family is very strong in India. For example, I have a lot of friends here, Indian friends, and they are very close to their family. Very often they receive phone calls from their family. Oh, what are you doing tonight? What did you have for dinner, etc. So my French classes were telling me, oh, it's a bit intrusive that the parents ask what did you have for dinner tonight? And so now when I go back to France, I realize that sometimes my family, it feels like they don't really care for me because they don't ask me questions. So when I'm back to France, I see the world through my Indian glasses. So one world, different angles. So it's all about culture, I guess.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I mean, it complements what Dr. Emma said. You know, we can create our own world once we are wherever we are, and then the world that's around us also shapes our perception of the world, where we came from, right? So that's very interesting, and I would just add to that, there is a saying in India that whatever you hear or say in India, the opposite is also true. Okay, so that is pretty much, in a way, maybe you are experiencing, I don't know, Dr. Kaul, you have just been a month here, so how do you see your idea of the world and coming over here and living in a different world?
Well, first, thank you for having me here understanding. Such, actually, I love a family too. I would have to really be close to it. Like swallowing it. Oh, did you understand the first part? Yeah. Fantastic. Basically, thank you all for having us. As you know, working in the vein of philosophy, and philosophers are not known to be straightforward. So I'll take the question a bit backwards. And instead of talking about the world, I'll talk about the self a bit. And so what is the self? You know, who am I? Who are we? What do we do? You know, these kinds of questions are quite central to philosophy, either it's in the East or in the West. In ancient Greece, there was a philosopher called Plato who talked about the Delphic oracle. It was an ancient temple where the Greeks used to go, you know, to get insight, to get information. An oracle is a person in that time where you would go and ask, a bit like a Jyotisha, a bit like an astrologer if you want, but she functioned differently. And at the door of that oracle, it was written, know thyself, or know yourself, and you should know, you will know the universe and the gods. And somehow, that's for the Greek, you know, it became a motto, a leitmotif. In India, we have a similar, very rich and very long tradition, which says, you know, if you have Atmagyan, you have Brahman. If you have knowledge of the self, you have knowledge of Brahman, which kind of stands for the entire universe, right, in a certain way. So if this is true, if the Greeks, you know, are somewhat wise, and this is right, and if the Indians are somewhat wise, and this is right, it also means that we could flip this backwards. That to know the world, you know, if we know the world and the stars and the gods within it, we will know ourselves. Somehow, for me, the world is a mirror. You know, it is, at least it has been my journey through learning Indian philosophy and going through India has been an impressive self-learning journey in a certain way. So my approach to this question would be, well, when you look at the world, you wonder, how is the world? But the world is also a reflection of ourselves, and what do we do in that world? What are we actually contributing to that world? But also what we see in the world is what we see in ourselves. I will leave it as that so we can pass it on to
pretty much Carl sums up that if you know yourself, you can know the universe, and you are a universe man. So I think. Yeah, so thank you very much for this opportunity. And yeah, before coming here, actually, I was worried that my idea of the world is very different from today's audience would expect. But I was surprised that Carl already mentioned the universe. So the world can mean many things. So world can be actually, world depends on your perspective. What you are interested, like my world, Western world, Eastern world. But this, and yeah, I'm not intending to stick to only one word, one meaning. But for me, the world, my idea is whole universe. So yeah, I hope I was hoping people would not escape by hearing that. I'm starting from too much away, but yeah, thanks Carl for already mentioning the God and the universe. Yeah, so well, going back in the history, the old days, like ancient Greek people thought that people tend to think we are the center. So at first you think you live in the center, and then you think this small planet Earth is the center of the whole world, or world in the universe. But then later scientists found out that the Earth is rotating around the sun.
Then sun is actually, the sun turned out to be just a very ordinary one star in like 100 billions of stars in Milky Way galaxy. And Milky Way galaxy also, well, we estimate the number of universe in observable universe, at least 100 billions of galaxies in this universe. So, yeah, this is a world for me. And, well, so I don't know how far this world will be from today's topic, or whether can we come back to today's topic of one world. But I think it's sometimes good to have a different viewpoint, and I hope you'll enjoy some viewpoint from cosmologists. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor, for bringing that worldview from the world of universe there. As you rightly pointed out, when we see ourselves as a part of the larger universe, yet we are operating within a world which has its own complexities. And we bring our own share of ideas, our own knowledge of the world. How easy or how difficult it is to navigate when you actually, traverse from one world to another world. What's your experience has been?
Well, I think in that regard, the Indians have it right, no? Adjustment. Adjustment. So I think adjusting morally, maybe linguistically, physically, everything has to be there. If you want to be able to truly kind of move between worlds, and again, that can be on a very day-to-day or smaller level, as well as larger ones. Right? But adjusting, that has to be also in the mind, right? That it has to be something that you're ready to do, right? That you're ready to think about, oh, actually there is another way for me to do this, or oh, there are several ways that this could be done. Am I ready also to do that? Am I ready to take that idea on? So I think in many ways, that traveling, even though we use that word so much in terms of moving through worlds as movement, as mobilities, I think also it's a major movement in the mind and the heart that has to take place in order for those mobilities to be truly valuable and honest, I guess. Earnest would be maybe the word. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. I think it is a movement both physically as well as in your mind when you traverse across, geography as well as the domain there. So, just to put that little on a lighter tone, what happens when you, for example, I'm just thinking the difficulties or the challenges Vincent might have faced, like moving into a different world. I mean, it could start very well from the Indian students understanding certain things, what you say as yes or no, no as yes, and from there to the whole idea of dealing with an entirely new set of value systems in India when you moved here. How do you see, Vincent, that change?
So obviously there is only one word, but when you travel from one geographical space to another, I think it requires a lot of humility. So there is a difference between understanding and knowing. So knowing our facts, okay? So I could have read about India, okay, the languages, the number, the population, etc. But it's just facts. You can just type on Google. But it's a whole different challenge to understand. So it requires humility because you have to accept that you have to question what you think you know. Okay, so you have to come with an open heart, as you were saying, and with a new eyes. So it requires humility to say, okay, I'm going to learn. So this is my state of mind when I change country. So I don't come with the preconceived ideas, I think.
That is the way to go, right?
Yes.
Yeah, when you keep yourself open to the ideas what you are accepting there. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Thank you, Vincent. And I will start with the other way around with the professor, because I think Professor Furji has been here for several years right now. So he has experience of this traversing across world in a far larger way. Maybe I should say, I was discussing with him about the idea of language issues, the idea of staying in a different place, and the nuances of adjustment. So how do you see being in India, Professor?
So of course, if you go to a new place, having a new experience, sometimes you have a hard time, unexpected accidents or unexpected things. But so actually I'm not regarding myself dealing well with environment or happenings. On the other hand, I also don't be bothered too much with some unlucky things happened. So my attitude is, of course, if you do new things, you may have troubles, but actually, I'm quite curious from the childhood. So when I was a small kid, I was a very, very shy boy. But even though I was shy, I was also curious. So there was always a competition between my shyness and curiosity, and in the end, curiosity won. And then I could experience many things, and I'm very happy with that. And another thing, how I handle the things, most of the hard things or tough experience was some failure of yourself. After passing and looking back, most of them you can laugh at it. It becomes a funny story. So that's also one way I deal with what happened to me.
I can recall somewhat the question. I was listening to colleagues here, friends, slowly, I guess, part of the family, I could even say. Different traits or different qualities that one may need or develop when changing environments and adapting. And so I would focus on this one, this adaptation. See, there's one thing when we are confronted with the unknown, we have fear. And fear makes us go, rigid. Fear makes us look for refuge and grasp and protection and go for what we know. This rigidity somehow, as we, at least as I believe, hearing my colleagues here, as we go meeting the unknown more often, this rigidity lessens. Right? And it's, I'm sitting next to somebody from the natural sciences. We are substances somehow. We have to admit we're kind of bodies. We are embodied, we are incarnated into a form. And this substance, we know that in the world there are different kinds of substance. Some substances are very rigid, like concrete, or stones. And there is hard wood, but there is softer wood somehow. And I think this is one of the qualities that one can go about cultivating, qualities in, say, Nyaya, or Nyaya being a school of philosophy in India. Quality is something that goes on a substance, just to say it like this. So the quality of the substance we can look for is flexibility, becoming a bit more perhaps, or less like concrete and more like a bamboo. So when challenge comes, when fear comes, we can move without breaking. The less rigid we are, the more flexible we are. The more flexible we become, the less we tend to break and break relations and so forth. I mean, I guess I'm getting poetic here, but just for the sake of
Yeah, but that's beautiful, Carl, as Emma says.
No, I get that, and I think that's very true. It's a kind of resilience that one builds, but in a positive sense, rather than a resilience that is defensive or one that's built on a negative kind of energy. I think though we also have to recognize that in going through that, which can be many places, many worlds, many years of doing, we are often pushed to our absolute limits. We have to be in order for that resilience and that shift within us, I think, to be. I think it's worth noting that because they're not all happy times, right? They can be difficult, but it is about getting to the other side of that, a familiarity of that resilience and that process, which I think then allows for not necessarily better, but a more kind of fluid movement through challenges the next time around. Yeah, I really appreciated that response. Yeah, very nice.
I think resilience and the openness, what Vincent said, I think that is how we, but the question comes then, Professor, where do I belong? Okay, because with this fluidity, with the changing world, okay, I open myself to these changes and I become resilient. But do I lose myself in the process?
No, you find yourself.
How do I find myself? That was my question.
Yeah.
So where do I belong in that?
Yeah, then I think this idea, sorry, I'm speaking again. Did you want to take up the question? I'll just respond very quickly.
Yeah.
Comes. So, I think you find yourself in the process because you are indeed pushed to those kind of limits. You're taken to places in your mind where maybe you would not have been otherwise. But I think you find yourself in those challenges and in those processes. But belonging is a big question, and I think part of the problem with that big question is that there's always a sense that one should belong somewhere or to someone or someplace, which feels so monolithic.
Actually, I would like to pick on this
Yeah.
and join back to what a colleague cosmologist mentioned before. You know, we have a sense, for example, we belong on Earth, we are from here, and you know, that gives us security. But when we zoom out, when we go on a meta perspective, a meta level, and we see there are thousands, billions of star systems, not just planets, star systems. And then we, at some point, start to lose our identity, we start to lose our security of belonging somewhere, and that's scary to a point. But at some point, realizing that, you know, these billions of star systems, this is where we belong. This is also home, you know, in a certain sense. And that is, you know, a shift that might come in somehow uprooting ourselves slowly, piece by piece.
I think that is exactly what the theme was, wasn't it? Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, in a way, becoming one with the oneness. That what you were trying to say, what Professor was also trying to say. Professor, would you like to add to that? Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, sometimes we look at, but when you think about the universe, we are very small, and we may not be the center. But actually, 1905 in physics, it's called the Year of Miracle. Einstein made three very important discoveries in physics. And one is the special relativity. So actually, there's no absolute center. It's all up to how you observe. Well, physics is the same, but how you describe it is up to you. So you can be a center. Earth can be center. So I'm coming back. And when you yourself face the world as your life, I think my philosophy is, well, it is actually from Chinese philosophy. When you face the world, actually you interact with nearby. So if you want to make this world better, so you start from your family, friends nearby. So that, and if what you do is good, that then the maybe other part of the world will follow. So here, like, I'm a researcher and teacher of the physics, and what I really enjoy and what I do in the world, what I belong, is like what I do what I like, and what I like is sharing my excitement in physics, understanding the world in physics way, and teaching that to students, especially younger students, and share how to do quality research. So this is the way I interact with the world.
I think that is the last point we're coming to, like how can we make this world a little better. I think Professor, you summed it up when you said that make the world around you a little better by your little deeds, in a way. Any panelist would like to take it, that how do we make this little better?